now that you've entered the information, your user details into the app, you're now ready to start using the app. There's two ways you can use the app. One is just by using the dashboard, which is the simplest way, or you can add log sheets and log entries in. We recommend entering the last 14 days of information, and if you use the quick tutorial, it will show you how to enter those into the app. However, if you've been having a long rest break, maybe 4 or 5 days, it's probably not so important to enter in the last 14 days of information. So we're going to show you how to use the dashboard. To do that, just click on the dashboard at the bottom here. It now comes and asks really what it's asking here. It says add a log sheet, but what it wants to know is what fatigue option you are going to be using. So in this case, we're going to use BFM. The time zone's already entered, so we don't need to enter anything in there. All we have to do now is hit save, and now we're ready to use the dashboard. You can see here the time zone and the time up the top here. If we go down, you can also say whether you were fit for duty. You can click that off there. Nights away, if you're driven and you've spent the night away, you can use that and keep a tally of how many nights away you've had. So let's start by starting driving. So you just click on the steering wheel icon here. It now wants to know when did you start driving, so it automatically calculates it to be to the closest 15 minutes. So we might have started at 17:15 or 5:15. We can change that time in here, hit done. And now we can put our odometer in. And we can put our starting time in here, or we can hit the GPS and find out, and it'll bring up a list of towns. But let's say we're going to put in, let's say it was Murrayville. Choose that in there. You can put your vehicle rego in here. Just going to put a dummy one in. And you can also, whatever your truck's named, if you've got a few trucks, you can, and they all have names, some truck drivers do that, you can put a name in here. Just hit save, and you can see there, your start time info is in there at 17:15. It tells you when you can work to, 23:15, so that's 6 hours under BFM. You can set an alarm here by just clicking the alarm button. And you can say, I want to be warned. You can scroll that across 5 times. I want it to be every, 8 minutes. It will start warning you 40 minutes based on that before you've got to stop driving. Truck information's down there, starting odometer's in there. When you stop driving, all you've got to do now is click the stop button. It then calculates up to the next 15 minutes, unless you have an EWD and you've marked that as you've got one. You put in your closing town and odometer. So it tells you here your average speed, so you can make sure that's okay. Your rego's still in there, and you hit save. When you're ready to start driving again, you just click the steering wheel icon. In this case, it's the same time because it hasn't moved at all, but we could say that was actually, we started that at 7:15 or 19:15 from and hit done and save, and that will tell you when you've got to stop driving again. You can set another alarm and so forth. So it's pretty simple to use, just with those two buttons there. If you're driving 2 up, you can just click the 2 up on there. It comes up with another icon here, in the case of 2 up, where you have a non-stationary rest break. So if you're going into a non-stationary rest break, you just click onto that button there. You can type in the time that started, that non-stationary rest break. You can put in the odometer, I won't put anything in this case, and save it. And now you're in a non-stationary wrist brake and your co-driver's driving. And it uses that information to calculate how long that non-stationary wrist brake has been for, so that it can work out how long your stationary wrist brakes. If I come back to log sheets, I can see on here it's entered those log entries in there. It started at 17:15, 18:45 we stopped, 19:50 to 20:30, and then we went into a non-stationary wrist brake. If I look at my work diary, we can see here those times. You can see that's where we went to op, and we haven't entered our brake in there. So, but if we enter that non-stationary wrist brake, we finish that off. It would show up there. Hope that helps.